Hey everybody, welcome back to Nick and Trav. I'm Trav.
And I'm Nick. And we are
I'm
still joined by Aaron.
Hey guys.
I saw you try and act like you're just like, yeah, I'm part of the group now.
Squad, it's our third episode. Let's go.
It's fine, I'm here.
I'm basically the third host now.
So, like, big, big we did our OSTs last episode. I now want you to base the top 5 as NES RPGs, whether they're turn-based or free roam, on just gameplay.
Say that again?
Yeah, that was a little confusing.
So top 5 RPGs on the SNES based on their gameplay. And it can be action gameplay, it could be turn-based, it could be ATB.
Okay, so top 2 is definitely going to be Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. I feel that's pretty not exactly a hot take for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you ain't rustling any jimmies on that one.
Yeah, after that, it feels a little tougher. I do think Super Mario RPG probably top 5, if not top 6. Like it's up there.
I mean, gameplay-wise, it's really engaging with the whatever you would call it, the active. Like, you have to push the button to actually make them do good damage at the right time and to like block all the damage and that's up there.
And I don't know if you've ever seen speedruns of that game, but they get away with some wild stuff just by doing frame perfect blocks on enemies. They're like 10 levels lower than they should be, and they're just fighting, everything. Nothing can hurt them.
Yeah,
and it's all because of like the press button at right moment.
Yeah. So they're just able to ignore everything that's not like a sure hit for sure damage,
Jeez.
But you have to be like frame perfect to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise you get blown right up.
No, I would think you'd get blown up.
So let's see, what else is there? Got those what are good RPGs. I would put in, I don't know how much I would say it's an RPG, but I kind of want to say it is, the first ActRaiser.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good question, because it's half Sim City, and then the other half, like, I'm not sure you would call that an RPG necessarily, but...
Because it's a game that, like, it's never my first one that I come to, but I always think about it, and I'm like, ActRaiser is actually a pretty solid game all around.
Yeah, that's what we've talked about in one of these episodes, and, being a spin-off of this trilogy or whatever. I'm really sad that the second one decided to not do the Sim City portion of it and just like, well, here's all the action, and like that was what made that first game so fun, is like you had a little Sim City, build up your town, and like, oh no, you got to go defend the town, so then get in there, and so I think that's actually pretty high up on my list as well, but again, I'm not sure if we call that an RPG per se.
I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds like you're in danger.
Sorry, there's an ice maker in the back.
Oh man. But okay, so I think we're at what, 3 or 4? Still got another one.
One more. Probably for me it would be Earthbound. I love that game too much, and it's jank. There's so much stupid stuff in that game, but it speaks very much to my sense of humor and the things I enjoy about RPGs.
I could never get over the health. How was it dial?
Like in a good or a bad way?
Well, like, I'm a very by the numbers type guy when it comes to those kind of RPGs. In the combat way, because obviously you've got like your party, everybody does X amount of damage, and we're going and we're moving, and everyone gets their turn, and everyone's happy with how it works here, and we're nuking this guy or we're nuking that guy, and as they're fighting us, in Earthbound, our dial is going down, and we have until the dial goes down, obviously, to like use a healing item. So like I understand that there's like a chance there, but I also like the definitive like, yo, he punched you in the face so hard you died.
Well, I mean, it's
Now,
just a different style. It's just like how Super Mario RPG has got their block system, you know?
yeah, I get you. But like I feel the block system works because it's all skill mostly in that game,
Mhm.
depending on when you're clicking your buttons and you're watching your frame data. And I mean, not and let's be real, the casual gamer is not going to sit there in Super Mario RPG and get 100% parries on top of endless jumps every time.
Mhm.
I like the fact that, and I don't mean to, you know, yeah, it's gonna sound dumb. The simplicity of turn-based to me really makes those games super digestible. To where it's like, okay, combat, 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 story, story, combat, 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 and like the wheel keeps turning, and we're good. For a guy like me who doesn't have the biggest attention span when it comes to storytelling, if it doesn't hook me, I find if it's got a good combat system, and you know there's enough combat in between each bout of exposition, I think we can carry ourselves forward. But with Earthbound, like, yeah, the combat system was great. Obviously, it's a turn-based RPG, but it's just for me, the wheel always meant like it kind of stressed me out a little bit because I'm sitting here going, oh man, this guy, one of my boys just got whacked. I've got to get a healing item on him, but like, no, the wheel will go. It'll just keep going.
Mhm.
You know, he's not going to die instantly, so you don't have to jump out in front and be like, all right, instant healing item, let's go, or cast a healing spell. And that just mixed me up, man. It was one of those things where like I just couldn't get used to it.
Mhm.
It's fair. That's kind of, you know, I can't immediately think of anything with an active health dial system. So I could see where that would be, you know, a bit odd. But the problem is, like, most of the time until you get, like, very end game, you're not going to even, it's not going to matter. You're not going to have a quick enough reaction to make it happen most of the time. Like, oh no,
Yeah,
I'm going to die, I better heal real quick. Well, guess what? You got 4 people and, like, maybe 3 enemies. Like, you're not going to make it through a whole turn and get healed in time.
Yeah, I think the earliest it comes up is when you're going into the second town, I want to say, and you have to fight the trees, the big or the big walking trees, because when you kill them, they explode and they do an absurd amount of damage to your party. But if they're the last enemy, you just mash through the victory screen real quick and you're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just funny because it's like, yeah, man, did you make it through the victory screen? Yeah, you good, dude. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be all right, guys.
It don't matter.
Yeah. You know, okay. Speaking of like your bouts of comedy and humor, Aaron,
Mhm.
the best part of Earthbound via like just jokes that are timeless. Would you agree that it was the Blue Man Room?
It was pretty good.
Like,
Are you talking about the Happy Happy cult?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, that's so good.
Yeah,
So good.
that whole game is just full of memorable, weird stuff. And I think that's really what keeps that game alive so long. Because the combat's pretty basic, and the limited item pool is not great, but the world is so entertaining to interact with, and there's always something weird to find. Like, there's a shop that you can pay what you want for things. And, you know, if you want, you could just buy 100 items from it for $1 each. That's your call.
Oh no, Will is starting to develop feelings.
Mm-hmm. It's about time.
I mean,
What?
it's day 12, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this was the basis for Geralt and Yennefer.
Oh my God. Can we not reference episode 1?
I already forgot that we made that. That we talked about that.
I was hoping everyone forgot about it because it was a
Never.
stupid comparison.
Never.
I think you were the one who started that comparison.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I accidentally compared such titles, and yeah, no, we should never do that again. We should all forget about that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
They're horrible.
I mean, if Nomura's not going to forget about this in his award-winning
Oh.
Kingdom Hearts franchise,
All right.
I'm just saying,
Nah,
this
dude,
guy
he's like-
obviously the inspiration for Sora.
The conversation of just Nomura as a human being is the hardest conversation I'll ever have in my life. Because you want to be like, dude, he's written some of the greatest stories, he's directed some of the greatest games, but holy shit, what happened to Kingdom Hearts? You know, like, what was he on? Like, I want to know, was he going through some shit? Was this like the first one remotely made sense?
Mhm.
Remotely. All right,
I mean,
kid
it's
gets
a
his
pretty
planet
straight-
blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. He gets the MacGuffin. He goes and does the thing. Tries to get a girlfriend. Fails. And Mickey closes the door. Like, you know.
Mhm.
But like, and then we get into like the Chain of Memories, which like no one played. And then they go off and make two with assuming everyone played Chain of Memories, in which everyone was like, okay, one, who's this new guy? Two, where's our boy? Three, why are there a bunch of dudes in jackets still? You know?
I will say, I felt very out of place because I was the only person who's like, thank God Sora is gone and will never be back when Kingdom Hearts 2 started.
Hot take.
And then, lo and behold, an hour or two later, it's like, oh, by the way, here's Sora.
Oh, that's not an hour or two. That's like a 5-hour prologue, I feel like.
Is it?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie,
like
it
it.
feels like it.
I
It
just-
feels like a 5 to 6 hour like tutorial.
I just remember burning through that game extremely fast in a rental from Blockbuster.
Just to get it done.
Yeah, well, I was doing it out of spite, honestly.
Oh, really?
Because there was a friend I had at the time. I don't even remember her name now, but she was like, "Yeah, you know, Kingdom Hearts is the best series ever." And I started playing the first one, and you know, I was telling her where I was at. I was like, "Oh yeah, I got up to this fight. I got up to this fight." Oh, you're not anywhere in the game. You're barely even started. I'm okay. Well, I'm waiting for it to get good. And eventually, I hit a point where I was like, "Yeah, I just got to this part," and she's like, "Oh yeah, I haven't got that far yet." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You're telling me this is the best series on Earth, and you haven't even finished the first game?"
So I'm confused. Did you get to the good part?
No, I didn't.
It's Kingdom Hearts, Travis. You never get to the good part.
Spoiler warning, I 100%ed 2 games out of spite, and there was no good part.
Yeah. Sounds like Kingdom Hearts.
Well, I take it back. I liked the Tron section. But of course,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that area music, jam, dude. That's a jam. So like, okay, so Nomura
Here we go, Matt.
as a director, all right. What do you feel? What do you feel he excelled at other than Kingdom Hearts?
I honestly
Confusion.
don't even know what else he worked on. I know he's like been in a bunch of stuff, but let's see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me bring up.
Yeah,
Let
if
me
we-
bring
if
up
we got a list
Nomura's
here.
track record. Like, because oh my god, dude.
I mean, he did a good job debugging Final Fantasy IV, so I'll give him that, you know. Oh, see, he was character designed for Setzer, who was my favorite character in 6, so there we go. I'll give him that one.
You'll give him that one.
Field
I mean,
graphics for Chrono Trigger. Special thanks for Mario RPG. It's all coming back together.
he was the principal character designer in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. Oh, and he was character supervisor for Air Guys. God Bless the Ring.
Oh my god, he worked on Parasite
Mhm.
Eve.
See, now that's a game.
Ooh.
That is a game I think doesn't get half the love that it deserves.
Resident Evil came out, you know?
Yeah, and Parasite Eve was different.
Yeah.
Had its cool ATV system, and then they were like, "Hey, what if we got rid of that and just made not as good Resident Evil for the sequel?"
Perfect.
How about that hot take? Well,
Oh my god.
oh yeah, I forgot about his seminal work, The Bouncer,
Oh my god.
hit PS2 title.
He did not work on that.
He was the character designer.
For the bouncer?
I don't even
Yeah.
know what this is.
It's a really old beat 'em up.
It was I don't think it was a launch title for the PS2, but it wasn't not a launch title, if you know what I mean.
Very
Oh,
close.
come on. Was it? Oh, didn't that come? That should have come out in like what, like 98?
Let's see. It was released 2000 in Japan,
Oh my god.
North America March 6, 2001. So pretty early
Oh.
on.
Yeah, that was pretty early.
But I'm just
I know
saying.
I know he came back to Final Fantasy at 10. Because I don't think he worked on 8 or 9,
Mm,
if I
I was
remember
thinking
correctly.
7. Yeah, he came back in 10 as a character designer. He did some work in 11. 10-2, he was main character designer. Yeah, he kind of has a smattering of stuff that he did. Ooh, he was a graphics supervisor on Mario Hoops 3-on-3.
Oh hell yeah!
See, there we go.
Oh my
Getting into the
god.
good stuff.
That's probably how he got in contact with fucking Disney.
No, this was way
Like,
after he'd been.
Nintendo.
Oh,
Nomura was just in there with somebody from an executive, be like, "Hey, what if we put Mickey in like a black outfit with a key?" And he started beating the shit out of things. You guys want to do that?
Well, I mean, wasn't that? It was literally just like an elevator talk, wasn't it? It just happened.
Yeah, it was. If I remember, SquareSoft and Disney shared some office space for a while. So it was just one of those weird chance encounters where, you know, one of the higher ups from Square and one of the higher ups from Disney were in an elevator, and they said, "Hey, we should do a collab sometime. Start a band."
Yeah, right.
They started Kingdom Hearts instead. You know,
The worst
Unleashed.
idea they've ever had.
unleash the darkness on the world.
Hey, and then he did. I know for a fact he worked on. He worked on our favorite spin-off of the Final Fantasy series, the wonderful Paris fucking designer show that was Final Fantasy X2.
So my hot take is 10-2 is fun, and people need to calm down about it.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
It is stupid fun.
Like it's okay. I get a lot of people's beef of 10 was a pretty heavy story, and going into 10-2 and being like, oh, it's so lighthearted and kind of fun and silly. It's definitely not the same tone. But guess what? Yuna's probably tired of all of her friends and family dying horribly. Maybe she wants to have a fun adventure for a change.
She doesn't get to.
Yeah, right. She is a protagonist. All right, they have to go through hell.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. Pain, as a character, at the time, I was a young teenage male.
Go on.
She was a very enjoyable character to play around with, and I enjoyed many of her lines.
Say less.
Yeah, right.
Take some of that back.
I mean, everybody who was thirsty at the time, I believe, was like, Riku's the best. I'm just like, y'all are pathetic. You know?
It's really a shame what happens to a lot of those characters throughout the course of that game, because there is like a definitive point where Riku's brain just completely disintegrates.
Yeah, right?
It's like, I don't remember exactly what prompts it, but there's like something horrible that happens, and she's like, you know what we need to do, Yuna? Let's dance. And everyone's like, yeah, we're doing it.
This is how we make the world a better place.
I
And
literally
just
don't
after
have a
that-
response to this.
Yeah, and just after that, Riku's like, yep, brain gone. No thoughts, head empty.
It's a beautiful thing, dude.
So, one thing I really enjoyed about Illusion of Gaia that I wish they had gone kind of more in on is it's supposed to be set more or less on Earth. Like, it's got identifiable landmarks, but then it's just like, oh, there's also Fantasy Town. Here's Phrygia.
You know,
That old
right next to Inca.
Mm-hmm.
Oop. Dick.
But
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, they tried, obviously. I mean, look at.
The other thing too is I feel this has kind of the problem that a lot of JRPGs have of you just kind of wander. You just end up in places and a thing is happening and you're just like, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. And it doesn't like lead anywhere. You're just kind of wandering. And it's not even like the game is about wandering. You're just here and it's like, okay, well there's a labor camp now. I gotta deal with that.
Some cultists and like this dude who doesn't want to let me in his house for some reason. Cool.
I think that's part of what makes this game's story so hard to remember. There's no like set, okay, I get it, you know, we went to the town of the summoners and we accidentally blew them up. And now we've got this orphan girl and oh, we gotta try to stop the other crystal from getting taken. No, it's just, hey, we're on a boat now. Oops, boat was actually a ghost boat. Now we're on a raft.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Following along, right? See, that's also like, that's kind of like the charm.
Yeah, I get it. I just wish there was more of a like a through line to this story, because Terra Enigma has that where there's a sense of like, oh, we're going somewhere. We're trying to go on a quest, a journey. All these places are just stops on the way. This is just like, I don't know what we're doing, man. We're just here. We're vibing.
Yeah, right? We're vibing, bro. Let's keep moving.
And like here we go. We went from like this game starts like pretty light, and then it's, oh, by the way, we're gonna starve to death on this raft, and now slavery. Have fun, kids. Pop this on once you're done with Mario.
It's what we do, bro.
Now the real question is, should we get a laborer? But let's determine that next time on Nick and Trav.
Okay.
We're getting our branching paths now.
All right, guys.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Ring the bell.
Do all the other idiotic things that YouTube demands of us.
For
Ring the bell.
algorithms and such. So yeah.
Don't forget to show your mom.
So yeah, guys. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
I'll see ya. Toodles.
Bye.